yeah, you gotta record it too.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
I'm going to say welcome to everybody. Thank you for showing up tonight to meet Nancy Green, one of our 3 judges for the great Fine Art of Photography show through the Plymouth Center of the Arts. We're delighted to have Nancy kick us off on the Zoom presentation, and we're also delighted that we are the groundbreakers. Nancy's the groundbreaker, the first one. We have never done Zoom presentations with judges before, so Nancy is going to be showing some images, and she's got a presentation. And then at the end of this time, we'll take questions. We'll have like another 10 minutes or so at the end of this. So you can type in. Lee and I will be watching what's going on, or you can hold your questions until the end. So I'm just going to turn it over to Nancy. Probably most of you already know that Nancy is a very accomplished portrait photographer with years of experience of just like fantastic images. And she's also has tremendous experience as a judge, which is one of the great honors that we're so happy that she's part of this to join us this year. So Nancy, I'm going to just turn it over to you and let you do your thing.
Bobby, I am blushing. No, honestly, that was very nice. How sweet of you. Thank you. Yeah, I am old, folks. That's basically what she's saying. And, and that is
No.
what I've done my whole life. Ever since I actually photographed my first wedding in 1974. So my whole life I have been a professional photographer. And I am obviously as most of anybody knows in Plymouth, if I photograph them, I'm a portrait photographer. And I also do corporate work, commercial jobs, architecture for annual reports, like a whole gambit of things. But now in my, further down years, I have really taken on my love and my passion of photography and involved myself in so many different kinds of or styles that I've always been fascinated with. So I've devoted more time with light painting and more time with landscapes and macro and all the different fun things that being a photographer is. And I don't have to devote my time as a professional portrait photographer and having fun. So I love photography. I love everything about it. I love the art about it. I also have been trained and was approved by PPA to be a juror, a professional juror for them, a paid juror for them from I think it was 2004. I was approved, and it's a very heavy duty training. We judge probably about 100 to 200 competitions a year and thousands of photographs. And that training involves what's called the 12 elements. And that is what I'm going to go over today, as a matter of fact. So I am going to share my screen and start my little PowerPoint. I hope you guys don't mind.
okay, there we go. It's coming.
And is it up?
Yep, it's up.
For everybody? Good. Excellent. All right. So, and I would like to thank you, Bobby, you, Lee, Peter, and everybody else on the committee for all your hard work. And I'll tell you something. I mean, I've been a volunteer and worked on so many image competition committees, and I do know how difficult it is. And I do know that motivating people is one of the most successful things you can do to get participation in competition. So this is a great way to motivate people. So thank you very much for asking me to do this. And I am honored and so thrilled to be able to serve on a panel of the 3 of us with Shiv and Lou. So thank you so much for that honor as well. I'm glad you asked me to share my thoughts on how I was trained and evaluate images, because that might share some ideas with people. I hope I can help you, the listeners, understand what I personally will be looking for when I evaluate the entries and make my selections. It's wonderful this exhibition has three judges to make the selections because it's a subjective process. I mean, we all have our own opinions. We each bring our own experience and background and decisions. This panel is very diverse in expertise and provide a really well-rounded final selection. So let's get on with my thoughts. And to start out with, photo competition is like it's your journey. It's not about the awards. It's completely about your journey. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to stop my video so that the streaming works as well, because we wouldn't want it to crap out on us in the middle of this. So let me start by clearing something up right away. It's competition is not about trophies. It's not about ribbons. And as great as all of that is, competition is truly, it's about you. It's about becoming a better photographer than you were last year. That's really all it is. If you win something or you sell something along the way, great. If not, you still win. If you learn, that's what it's all about. This is a journey. And like all journeys, there will be moments of joy, frustration, and an occasional urge to yell at the judges. Yes, I know. But no matter what, it's important to put yourself out there. It's important to get your work seen. Oops, sorry. And there we go. I use the 12 elements of a mirrored image. That was created by Professional Photographers of America and a standard for evaluating photographic images. It's the backbone on how I was trained as a juror. I consolidated them to 6 pillars to use as a guide, and I hope these elements may help you make your selections for review. Pillar 1. So this is impact, and this is center of interest. This is stopping viewers in their track. In a gallery, the competition isn't the artist next to you, it's the actual room. People wander around, they chat, they sip wine, they glance around, whatever. And your image has one job: make them stop and look. I feel the most important of all these 12 elements is impact. Impact is that split-second punch. Does the image wake me up? Impact comes when all the elements come together as a whole and as strong correlation to the center of interest. Where does my eye land? And more importantly, does it stay there? The center of interest in a photograph is the spot or the element that naturally draws your viewer's eye. Among other ways of creating a center of interest, leading lines, curves, or directional flow guiding the eye to a particular point brings the center of interest right to this man's face. Be careful to not have more than one center of interest, though, as this can cause a lot of confusion. If the viewer bounces back and forth trying to find out where to land in an image, you lose the impact and the center of interest. The strongest images say, look here, this matters. All right, so pillar 2. These are the invisible mechanics of a photograph. That's like technical excellence and lighting. Here's the truth about something. Sometimes it hurts. The technique should never be the star of the show. Technique sometimes can be so overdone. Using some of the photo applications in post-processing could be like a mistake. Used improperly could cause technical flaws that will take away from the beauty of the image. For instance, a common mistake is using the sharpening tool to excess. This can cause the image to have artifacts. That's like a cross-hatching, that appears in the background of things. It's kind of like the same thing you see if a file is it's so pixelated, it's too small of an image. I can't tell you how many times I have seen people take a photo that was originally sharp and process it with a sharpening tool and actually make it appear to look out of focus because it's just over sharpened. Image sharpness, exposure, post processing, print quality, these are all the mechanics, and mechanics should be invisible. If I notice blown out highlights, muddy shadows, crunchy skin, artifacting, then the technique has failed. Lighting truly matters. Light defines dimension, mood, and texture. It can turn sand into velvet or make water drops sparkle. When lighting technique is done right, nobody notices it. They just feel the image. You can actually feel that moisture. As if it were three-dimensional, lighting is like so powerful. Lighting in any art piece is about using light intentionally to support the mood, the story, the impact of your image. It's not just bright or even light. It's about control, direction, quality, how it shapes the subject. All right, we're going to go to pillar 3, which is our voice, the artistic voice. And that includes the elements of creativity and style. This is where things get personal. This is when you concentrate on a look you want to cultivate. Creativity is not just recording what is there. It's your interpretation rather than documentation. It's using your imagination. Creativity is about seeing differently and making choices with intention. I want to see your brain work, not just your camera. That brings us to style. Style is your visual fingerprint. If I cover up your name in the show for an image that you have displayed in the show, and someone who knows your work would say, "Oh, that's so and so's." If the answer is no, that doesn't mean you're bad. It just means that you're still becoming. And that's actually the point. Your style is developing. Style changes, our styles develop over time. Is it soft and light? Is it contrasty and hard? Is it minimalist? I always have a hard time with that word. Or filled with things to look at. Consistency of style doesn't mean repetition. It actually means intention. All right, pillar 4 is your visual harmony. And this involves composition and color. Composition is how the eye travels through an image. We all know that. I mean, we're artists. We use composition completely in our photographs for the impact. It's the visible glue that holds photograph together and makes it feel right to the eye. Where do we enter? Where do we land? Composition can be bold, strong, like leading lines of buildings or bridges or fences. It can also be understated, like ripples in water or light touching the tops of the grass or clouds in the sky, or even negative space by giving the subject room to breathe and a viewer to place to rest, Composition is created by leading lines in an image, using factors involving light, direction, color, framing, or even depth of field. The success of great composition brings our focus to your point of interest. How you crop your image helps with your composition, and I'll cover that more later on. Color balance is the control of color temperature and tint, so the neutral tones appear neutral and all other colors render accurately. The difference in color balance to color harmony that people often confuse are color balance equals accuracy and neutrality, color harmony equals relationships and mood. Balance comes first, harmony comes after. You can't build a mood on a color cast accident. Color is not just decoration, it adds to the emotion or feeling of an image. Harmony is beautiful. Intentional dissonance can be powerful. Subtle harmony can calm a space, intentional contrast can energize it. Every color choice either support the story or get out of the way. Pillar 5. Aren't these babies cute? Anyway, that includes storytelling and subject matter. And boy, there's just a ton of story in that particular photograph. You can tell that I love my puppy dogs, don't you? All right. So, storytelling in a photograph is the ability of an image to convey a narrative, emotion, or idea without words. It's what turns a photograph into a memorable experience. It's when a viewer feels something and begins to imagine the before and the after of the scene. It's when you can create a narrative of an event from just one frame. If the viewer starts asking questions, congratulations, the story is working. Every strong photograph whispers a story. It doesn't explain everything, it invites the viewer in and lets them finish the sentence. For example, environment matters. A violinist in a concert hall, for instance, tells one story. The same violinist in a subway tells a very different story. A great image whispers just enough to pull the viewer in, then lets the viewer's imagination do the heavy lifting. Subject matter is what the photograph is about, not just what's in the frame. It's the visual answer to the question, what am I supposed to look at and why? The subject could be a person, an animal, an object, a landscape, or even an abstract concept. If the viewer guesses wrong, the image has a communication problem. It's not about what you photographed, it's about how and why. Example, a bride waving out the car window suggests that she's arriving to the wedding site and beginning her exciting day with her new partner. A simple subject presented with intention beats a complicated subject with no soul every time. Some images have a primary subject, a secondary subject, a relationship between them. That's advanced storytelling. What doesn't work is three equal objects all yelling, hey, look me, pay attention to me. That's dividing up the attention. That's dividing up the center of interest. Subject matter is the primary visual element or idea the photographer intends the viewer to engage in, supported by all the other elements in that image. Choosing what to include or exclude in a frame is part of controlling subject matter. And then we have the pillar 6, and it involves your presentation and your technique. Correct technique is what allows your photo to survive enlargement, lighting, and scrutiny. Display doesn't forgive shortcuts, it amplifies them. You make a mistake, and that print is going to just amplify that to the max degree. Photograph can be beautiful on a phone and collapse completely on the wall, as we've all seen that happening. Correct technique ensures that the photograph can be displayed at a decent size with clarity, consistency, and without technical distractions. Finishing a photograph ensures that image is presented with clarity, intention, and technical excellence appropriate for display. This is where good images become competitive images. This is where the sale can happen. Mats, frames, paper choices, print quality, these are not afterthoughts. A beautiful image presented poorly is like wearing cleats with a tuxedo. Why sabotage a chance of an award or a potential sale by shortcuts in finishing your art? Every final choice of mats and frames should support the image, not compete with it. And finally, not a pillar, but a suggestion. I hinted about this a little bit back. One of my favorite concepts, sometimes the real photograph is hidden inside the photograph that you took. I urge you to crop bravely, crop with purpose. Cropping is the process of removing what weakens the photograph so that what matters can finally speak. There's no law that says your image must stay in its original proportions. You can even flip it. If a stronger image lives inside that frame, make sure you set it free. Consider the final display size. Consider orientation like portrait, landscape, square. Consider how the image will live on the wall. A crop that doesn't suit the final presentation isn't finished yet. If a tighter composition strengthens that story, make sure you do it. Exhibition work rewards clarity and confidence. And finally, commit to your art. Art is subjective. The judge's opinions are subjective. Selection for exhibition is not a verdict on your worth as an artist. Not at all. Submit your work to different exhibitions with different judges. Listen to critiques from other photographers you respect, even the ones that sting a little, especially the ones that sting a little. Not every image advances, not every piece gets picked. Competition teaches you how to separate yourself from your work, how to accept critique without defensiveness, and how to improve instead of retreat. This is how artists grow instead of stall. Because entering your work isn't about being perfect, it's about being better than you were yesterday. And that is um, my whole thing on how I'm going to stop my share here, how I actually choose images. And I hope that that has helped you. And if there's any questions, I shall take them now.
Okay, so we can unmute to ask questions. Anybody got anything to say here?
No, I would just say, Nancy, this is Mark. That was fabulous. It was very helpful.
Oh, great.
Yep, the way you were able to capture those concepts and present them to this group has been really very helpful. Thank you.
Mark,
Yes,
thank you so much for saying so.
I totally agree. That was a fantastic presentation. That was just so amazingly insightful and really to the point. I mean, that was great, Nancy. I'm assuming, because you didn't say this, but I'm assuming that all those pictures are yours.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I wouldn't show you
work.
somebody else's work.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful work.
Oh, thank you, Bobby. Appreciate it.
Nancy, this is Peter.
Hi, Peter.
Before I turned this on, as I was coming into the room, I said, I really hope she talks about the elements of judging. That's exactly what I said. I couldn't have asked, and you just did a fabulous job. I've been taking pictures for probably as long as you have, maybe a little longer. But I learned some stuff tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That's wonderful. I learn stuff every single solitary time I enter into competition.
Yeah.
It's if you don't learn, then you just become stale.
Mm.
I would like to add something to that. I can't remember, when I just was listening to something today. You don't learn through success, you learn through failure.
Yeah.
So that basically means that the more you try, the more you fail, then you can improve.
Right.
I mean, that's really where, Lee let me come back on again. He shut me off and now I'm back on. Like, well, you can come back on too, Lee.
I was getting tired of looking just at myself.
But I think that's a very important thing for people who are entering a contest. And you did touch on that. It's like you have to realize that you're going to learn from everything that's going on around, and the failure is your greatest growth. Not that I'm encouraging people to fail, but it's like don't take it personally. take that as to say, okay, this is something else that I have to learn so that I can grow. And that's how you become a better photographer every year.
Absolutely. And you know what? We do a lot in PPA, for instance, is we share our photographs with other photographers that we respect. Like I had also touched on a little bit in my presentation. And we, ask them, okay, I've got these 5 images. Out of these 5 images, what 3 would you enter into competition? And what would you do differently? Having somebody else look at your work, it's amazing how what they will see, because how many times have you looked at a paper, for instance, that you wrote, and you read it a thousand times, and yet there was one word that was misspelt that you just kept on going over because in your mind's eye it was spelt properly. So in your mind's eye, an imperfection in your photograph is something that you might miss, but something that you, Bobby or Lee, you might see if I showed you and I said, hey, what do you think of this? What would you do with this one? So it's kind of fun to ask a friend, that's part of this group, uh, if they would look at some of your images.
Very, very true. Very true.
And that is actually, for the people who have joined us tonight, we will be doing portfolio critiques probably after the show is hung. And that's people can come and sign up for. We have a variety of people who are going to be doing that. So again, it takes a little bit of courage to go and show your work to somebody that you don't know, but if you can be open to the feedback, again, that's another really a great piece of growth, a growth
Absolutely.
opportunity, I should say.
Yep.
So does anybody have any questions?
No, just one, Mr. Mark again, just one more thank you to the team here, Bobby, Lee, especially, and Peter to kind of arrange and get this going. It's a big step forward for us.
I agree.
Yeah.
Really do, Mark. It's a lot of work to do, and it's a lot of extra time that they're putting into it. And I completely appreciate all that the effort is going into this.
It's
Seriously.
all because we all love photography, right? It's like we want to, the whole point of doing this is to share the work that we've been doing, to share with each other, with other photographers and with your friends and with people that you don't know, to show that this is my art, this is my expression, and it's important. Is every image is important, no matter what the subject matter is or how it's done, because it's something that an artist has created. So it has value because of that. And that's, the Fine Art of Photography show has been a tremendous show for many years, and that's what we want to continue doing and reach more people. So please, everybody who's here, tell your friends and enter.
Nancy, excuse me.
Yes.
Nancy, this is Barbara.
Hi.
How do you when you submit to a show and you might have 5 images, how do you chip them down? By the judge or by what you want? Or both?
So how do I chip them down?
Yeah.
Personally, when I enter or when you enter?
Either way.
So for
you're
instance,
looking at them,
when we look at them, number one, we don't know who you are.
Yeah.
The names are not there. So there's no way that we are going to be that we would be swayed in any way if I knew somebody. I'm not like if I say, oh, this is Barbara's, I want to make sure that she gets accepted. That's not even possible because we don't know the names of the people, of the images that come up. And the images, all 5 of your images, if you enter 5 images, all 5 of them would not come up together. They're all random.
Oh, okay. It doesn't come up in a group. So if you
Nope. It
Okay.
comes up
All
in
have an
categories.
equal chance to be accepted. All 5 have an equal chance.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Let me ask you, does this do they show the titles of the photographs when the photographs come up to because everybody's different in this one, in this particular competition?
That's a Peter question.
Yeah, yes, you can. You can do it one of two ways. You can just look at the image without any information at all, or you can click it and it gives the name and it just gives the name of the image.
Yeah, the title.
Yeah,
Just
the
the
title
title.
of the image. The title.
Right, right. So, because sometimes there's competitions that involve this software that they don't involve the titles. So I'm going to also share one more thing to everybody. Titles are important, in my opinion, because titles help tell the story. When I go in a gallery and I'm looking at all the photographs, all the artwork, everything that's up on the wall that's being displayed, I go over the first thing I do is find out, does that have impact? Did that image draw me over there? So if that image drew me over there, I immediately go over and I look at the title because that gives me a whole different perspective sometimes on what the image is. So that title is actually quite important. So that's why I'm really glad that I'm going to have that option to be able to read the titles because that will help tell the story as well.
Excellent question, Barbara.
Nancy, I have a
Thank
question.
you.
It's Jim Curran.
Hi, Jim.
So you spent all this time talking about all the things that you look for in recommendations. What about things that are turn off, like trends in the industry that obviously come and go, that are a red flag that are kind of a turn off to judges, especially professional judges?
So I totally get where you're coming from that. But that kind of goes under the mechanics of it, the technical part, where,
Hmm.
trends tend to be, and I'm sure you agree with this, the technical stuff, the applications that they use in phones and like
Hmm.
Topaz Labs, when that Topaz was a whole big thing. Uh, that's often people will take an application and they'll overdo it instead of maybe just applying a little bit or maybe just applying it to a part of an image. Maybe they just want to sharpen this flower on the bottom left-hand side or something. Instead of doing that, they're overdoing it. So
Hmm.
one of the things that I did touch on is don't overdo um, that trendy kind of application stuff. If anything is going to hurt you, that's definitely going to hurt you technically. And I don't think
Okay.
anything else, I don't think is necessarily trendy. It's usually the finishing stuff that is.
Yeah. I was thinking more in terms of even on the finished side, like metal prints or
Mm,
the way things are presented.
yeah, that's a good point too, Jim. Yeah. The metal and the what is it, acrylic,
Hmm.
it was a big thing for a while, right? And I think it and canvas, I think it all has its place, and I think that if you have something that's really sharp, really shiny, like maybe a sunset that's really brilliant, and you want to bring out colors, maybe a metal print will work or an acrylic print will work. But I personally am still a frame girl. I don't know, if everybody else is, how they feel about it, but I tend to think that framing and matting your image, your print, is the way to go.
Okay.
What do you think?
Um, I kind of agree with you there, but I think I wanted to put it out there so others hear it coming from a judge that if they want to spend a lot of effort in a technique, like it's not going to save your image. It's
Right,
not a life preserver.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I think anything that serves the image is okay. If the metal print really makes that image sing, yeah, hey, go for the metal print, float it off the wall. Don't display it in a frame. But you have to really think about, is it serving the image, or is it just waving a hand going, hey, look at me. I'm a new shiny thing, right? It has to serve the image. That's where I would draw the line. Anybody else? Well, I think I can stop the recording if we're in
Thank you,
agreement
Nancy.
here.
Well, I wish everybody a whole bunch of luck.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Nancy. This was really fantastic.
Yes.
Well,
So
Thank you.
And there's
We're
thumbs up
getting
coming
thumbs
up all
up.
over the place here.
Yes, thank you very much.
Peter, could you clarify how this recording of this will be available to people?
Well, actually, I was going to ask Lee the same question. The
I will send out a link. This is being recorded to the cloud. So we'll just send a link out, and whoever wants to watch it can watch it. We can.
well, I think I don't know if Josh is available. I think we should probably send that link to Josh also.
Yeah.
And he can see about send it to both Josh and to Gallery, PCA Gallery. We'll see if we can get a link on the website.
Okay.
Okay.
We
Agreed,
will get a
Peter.
link on the website.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming